events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coon. The white man to go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
We get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Daily Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Now, with that all being said, let's get ready to get black into it. Hello, Emperor Rex, Love Christy, Buckhorse DC, Desmond, Claudette. All right. Queen Amoni Huey, Leon, Cookie, Trisha. All right, 57 Beige Fox, We the People. Greta Lee is here. Lisa's Real Spill. All right, let's get into it. Bobos or Babos? All right, Timeless is here. Shout out to all of my loyal rows and everyone tuned into the Queen. And a big shout out to my moderators because they be putting in work. Okay, so let's get it started. I see you, Dark Tube, LL. Okay, so before we get started, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes. Hey, Pretty Wings, Mr. Elevation, Lillian X, Nubia Ra. All right, let's get it started. Here we go.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Kratz. You can also find it at Walmart.com. And don't forget that she sells beard oil as well. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen. Now look at this. I need to do a little bit more research on this story. I just shared this on X. Okay, so these 4 people right here that you're looking at murdered this black teenager. Okay, so listen, they say Jared Grant Marsh the second, 18, charged with murder, excuse me, and possession of a weapon during a violent crime. So they say Tyler Haynes Larissy, 17, charged with murder. Okay, a 17-year-old out here killing people. Tara Alexander, 40, charged with accessory after the fact to murder. Brian Alexander, age 40, charged with accessory after the fact. And they're all 4 being held at the Aiken County Detention Center. All right, so I find this all very interesting. Now, they've been arrested for the shooting death of a 17-year-old black teen. 17-year-old Khalil Simmons, an honor student who graduated a year early. So he had a lot going for himself, was going off to college. He was savagely ambushed and killed by 2 white males. Now, they also shot a 16-year-old teen who survived the incidents. Do you all hear this? Okay, this is Trump's America. Okay, this is Trump's America, but y'all want to talk about Democrats. Now, look at this. Son of a high-profile Republican pastor, another MAGA minion, Jonathan Paterno, has been sentenced to 6 years for child exploitation and possession of child porn. He distributed the illicit material in a Snapchat group called Diddy Disciples. See, that's something. Not Diddy Disciples. They should have been called the Epstein Disciples. Okay? And then here we have this little thug. A federal judge declined. Now pay attention. A federal judge declined to jail a Florida teen accused of killing and assaulting his stepsister, allowing him to remain in the custody of a family member while he awaits trial. How do these people get too many chances? Okay, now this is his stepsister.
Federal judge will let the 16-year-old charged with sexually assaulting and killing his stepsister while on a cruise stay out of jail while waiting for trial. This is Timothy Hudson here walking out of court. Prosecutors say he killed his stepsister, Anna Kepner, on a Carnival cruise ship last year. Hudson is being tried as an adult, but the judge says he can stay with the family member because he's a minor. Hudson has pleaded not guilty, but faces life in prison if convicted. Federal judge will let the 16-year-old charged with...
He needs to get life in prison. Okay, and I remember that story when they were looking for her on the cruise. Now, this is a guy that used to work for the Daily Wire. Same people Candace used to work for, Candace Owens. Former Daily Wire writer and Florida Bible school teacher Aaron Craig Gleason has accepted a plea deal that could drop the child molestation charges against him entirely. Isn't that something? So that would mean that he wouldn't have to register as an sexual offender, but he's doing things to children. These people are too lax with these PDF files in this country. I promise you they are. Okay, so Gleason spent years writing for the Daily Wire, accusing, mind you, listen to this, accusing LGBTQ plus people of grooming children. Okay, the projection of it all. Now, he was initially charged with molesting a child under 12. Sick freak. The Daily Wire quietly deleted his author page. Every accusation is a confession. Exactly. Exactly. Isn't this something? Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, let's continue. Always the same old usual suspects, like I keep telling you all. So, first of all, let's talk about Kevin Hart, because I have told you all literally for 2 days in a row. I told you all yesterday and this morning that we're going to listen to Kevin Hart's a clip from him on The Breakfast Club. And then each time I got sidetracked and didn't do it. So we're going to listen to it now because people went in on him. And rightfully so, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so I'm going to put up an overlay. Let me share my screen so we can hear it. Okay, now listen as he tries to make it all make sense.
The George Floyd joke, it wasn't a tasteful joke to our culture, to our audience, but our audience that's watching the roast, if you're watching the roast, you get why they're doing it. You get why the racial humor is on the table. Like, it's not, I wasn't shocked. Like, that's what they do. Go look at the Tom Brady one. Like, that's what they do. It happens every year when they do a roast. It's not new. This isn't a new It's not a new agenda. It's not a new approach to comedy.
Do you feel like Tony Hinchcliffe went too far when he made that joke about George Floyd?
It's Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah.
Like I don't expect less. I don't expect more.
I feel like you're saying going too far is the point. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yes, I mean that's why you're there.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to say this, but I'm going to because we're being honest. People are talking about that joke. Talk about his set. Tony Hinchcliffe arguably had the best set or one of the best sets between Tony and Cheryl, and I would say Naeem had a really strong set.
Naeem had a very strong set. I was laughing out loud at Tony until that joke.
Until the joke.
But not even just that joke. I don't like when people joke about violent, tragic death. I like Pete's set, and then I was like, why you had to say anything about Charlie Kirk?
Pete had a great set too. Pete had a Charlie Kirk joke in there.
Yeah.
Like, would I tell those jokes? No. But do I get why they're being told?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Like, I'm not looking at Pete crazy. I'm not looking at Tony crazy. Like, that's what I know what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I know your style of comedy.
Did you see the interview that I did with Terrence Floyd, George Floyd's brother?
No.
So he said
no shot to you.
No,
okay.
that's good.
I'm never watching it.
That's fine.
I just want to be clear. I'm never watching that. Like,
I only brought it up.
Even now that you told me, I'm not going to go back and go look at that interview.
Because he's a fan.
I just want to make it clear so you understand what I do with my time. Like, I'm never doing that. Okay, go ahead.
I just asked because he's a fan of you.
Mm-hmm.
He saw the joke
Mm-hmm.
and it picked up pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know if you saw it, but he basically said, like, as a fan of you and knowing that you came to the funeral to support his family,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's a roast and Tony, that's what he does, they expected you to kind of be the person that would like stop it right in the moment or just not allow for certain things to happen.
And he also said he wanted you to come harder. He said if they're going to joke, why you ain't come harder with your own jokes?
All right.
Racist jokes, I guess.
This is actually a good thing to give a rebuttal to.
See, then
They talked about my dead mom and my dead dad. Said that they were running a train on my mom in
that
heaven,
was hilarious.
right?
It was
that
double
was crazy.
entendre.
Yeah, that was Regina killed that.
Right?
Yes,
oh wait, that's right. You probably should say killed that.
The jokes about Kevin was on a slave ship in a bottle with like the ship in the bottle. Like, I'm going to appreciate humor. I don't get affected by the attempt of humor. I get it, right? In this case, like, do more. It's my production. We're live. The more is what? Like, what is it that you expect me? You want me to take a live production and stand up and fight Tony or have a reaction? Like, Tony told a joke. It wasn't a tasteful joke to us. We didn't like it. Okay. Hey man, fuck that joke. We move on. I don't understand why we stand on a hill and it becomes like this big thing of like, oh man, the motherfuckers, they do this and they're attacking the culture. It doesn't have to be that. It literally is either you're a fan of this level of content or you're not. And if you're not a fan, then you don't watch it. So my last note for all attached to this is very simple, okay? Whatever the headlines or whatever the dialogue is, my rebuttal is simplicity. Remove me from it. I didn't say it. If you are upset that the night went on, that's a different conversation. It's nothing I can do. It's a production. It's a live production. I'm not compromising the live production for a reaction of what? What do you want me to do? I'm going to drag him off? You want me to fight afterwards? You want me to turn it into like what? That's not what I agreed to do. That's not the job at hand. The job at hand was to produce a successful roast, which I did. I also got the rebuttal. I also got to say shit at the end. What are we dealing with here? I'll say it again. Stop talking as if I said it. Mm-hmm. So when you say the family and the family's affected, I didn't disrespect the family. Showed up for the family when it happened. Made sure that the family felt supported. Made sure that all things there were actually cool. Behind the scenes, just as an example, you know the one person that I talked to, and I'm not even going to tell you the conversation, Stephen Jackson.
Oh, I know he caught that.
That's because that's my nigga.
Yeah.
Hey, Stack, let me just call you, man, so I can explain to you like the world of the roast, X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. We talked. I get it, Kev. We had a great conversation. But that's what I mean when I say, hey, man, let me call the one person after. And that's before whatever you're talking about. Mm-hmm. That's immediate. Mm-hmm. Stack, hey, Tony threw one out there. It's this and this, but you do know that that's what this shit is a roast. But I just want you to know from my side, that man is on his own.
You ain't lead with that, Kev. You should have been leading with that the whole time.
Because I don't need to.
People just want to know you care.
I don't fucking need to prove to people that I give a fuck.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Just this time. This one time.
No.
Yes, this one.
No. If you open that door, then that's the door that people expect all the time. Why the fuck do I need to do that?
I think it's because of how much the George Floyd situation affected so many people. This is, I think I get what you're saying and how you stand on your business, and I respect you for that. I'm not talking about
business.
Or whatever it is. I think with certain things,
not say it.
But their pushback is it happened at Kevin Hart's roast. Kevin Hart, who is like, he's out, like, so many of us support you. You're ours.
They just want to hear you say. Okay, I just want to hear you say what you said today. It's tasteless. You actually reached out to somebody who's considered his family to say, let them know. That's all.
I have the best example. If I go to a nightclub and like we're celebrating, right? And 2 people get killed that night at the nightclub. What's the headline?
Kevin Hart's party got shot.
Shot up. 2 people died at Kevin Hart's party. Right? People may say, I'm not going to Kevin Hart's party again. Man, you can't go to Kevin Hart shit. Kevin Hart shit ain't safe. I ain't fucking with Kev. You heard what happened. I go, but I didn't fucking do it. I didn't even know the people that fucking was shooting. I didn't even know the 2 people that got killed. That's the nature of being the name. Your name is attached to things to make things bigger. What is my fucking... I didn't shoot the gun. Why am I arguing and why am I doing interviews after?
Why were they in your party with guns?
Who knows? I don't work the metal detectors. I'm not the security guys. The club does all that. I don't have those answers. You understand what I'm saying? Like the responsibility it starts to compile as if I'm the one in charge. We are not in charge of the dialogue from anybody on that stage.
If Tony calls you right now and says, man, Kev, man, I was out at the comedy club, man. And man, this dude, man, who said he was George Floyd's brother, smacked the shit out of me.
You gotta deal with that.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do?
Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. Kevin sounds ridiculous, and that was a terrible analogy in my opinion, or a terrible example. And here's why. Because for one, if you're at a club celebrating and then some random people that you don't know shoot up the club, the headlines absolutely would have Kevin's name in it because he's a celebrity. But the bottom line is everyone would also have sense enough to know that he didn't have anything to do with it. He couldn't have prevented or whatever. But the bottom line is you do know Tony Hinchcliffe. You did invite him to be there, and it was your production. Didn't he just say that? It was your production. So I'm sorry, but that's apples and oranges to me. It's not a good comparison. Okay, it is absolutely not a good comparison. And like I said, he's trying to make excuses to minimize his culpability. He's saying that he called Steven Jackson. And you know why he called Steven Jackson? That's how you know. Because see, here's the thing. Kevin has been acting this whole time like he didn't give a darn about the joke being told. Like it just is what it is. Y'all need to stop being so sensitive. It's just a joke. But now I feel like because of the pushback, he's trying to act like he at least cared a little bit. He called Steven Jackson because he didn't want any smoke. Okay, because he knows that man in real life, like he said, they're cool. But Steven Jackson and George Floyd were best friends. They called each other brother because they almost resemble each other. Okay, they resemble each other a little bit, according to what Steven says. People always told them. So that's his best friend. So yeah, you did call him, and that lets us know that you knew what Tony Hinchcliffe said was absolutely racist and offensive. Okay, and you didn't have any problem with that. Okay, now I'm not saying he should have stopped the production and acted a whole fool, but his reaction could have been a little different, sitting there laughing like a raccoon. Okay, he could have had the same look on his face that Regina Hall had on hers, or other people in the audience had on theirs. Okay, because most people weren't laughing. It got kind of quiet. And so, but anyway, and then you're letting them tell. I didn't even know they told jokes about his mom because I didn't even watch the whole thing. Okay, after I started hearing all the racist jokes and stuff, and then the nerve of him to try to bring up the other roast, okay, with Tom Brady. They weren't telling racist jokes at Tom Brady's roast. Not to my recollection, but anyway, Anyway, I just find it all interesting. Kevin Hart, just go ahead and say it. You're sold out. Okay. I knew he was sold out when he said that he would never wear a dress and they would never make him wear a dress. But then guess what? Shortly thereafter, he wore a dress because when he said he wouldn't do it, that's exactly why they made him do it. Just to show him that you will do what we want you to do. Okay. That's what that was. And we all know who runs the entertainment industry. All right, please pay attention. Now, this is a guy dragging Kevin. Kevin Hart said he's not sorry or apologizing. So can we move on, please?
Just had an interview at the Breakfast Club talking about the George Floyd jokes that happened at his roast. He said he ain't got no apology for nobody. He said he don't take it back. What you want him to do? So can we move on? You're either going to support Kevin Hart in the future or you ain't going to support Kevin Hart in the future. Stop watching Ride Alone. Stop watching Jumanji. Because we got a dinosaur in the White House that we're trying to get rid of right now. We got more important things to be thinking about. Sorry. If you thought the George Floyd joke had your panties in a bunch, let me give you this little piece of information. This should give your ass a wedgie. Donald Trump is our president and we damn near $40 trillion in debt. The most debt in American history, which means higher taxes, higher grocery prices. Gas prices is out the roof. Gas prices out the roof so bad, studies showing that Uber drivers and bus drivers out here getting more pussy than anybody in America right now. Y'all out here fucking for a free ride. So wrap this Kevin Hart shit up, goddammit. Don't nobody want to hear about his little ass and his little ass joke. But wait, if you want to laugh, I got one that make you slap your knee and run up and jump around the room laughing so hard. Donald Trump got him and his family damn near exempt from tax audits. Lord knows I done marched for George Floyd. I done donated to George Floyd. I mean, I love that everybody's standing up against that George Floyd joke, but we got another joke that just ain't funny right now sitting in the White House as we speak. We got other shit that's important going on right now. We do. Keisha Lance Bottoms won the Democratic primary to become the next governor of Georgia. I don't know what y'all doing, but that's what we focusing on. Kevin Hart just had
He said, I don't know what y'all doing, but that's what we focusing on. That's what we're focusing on too. One thing about it is we can focus on multiple things at once, beloved. It's called multitasking. Okay, it's called multitasking, and that's what everybody was telling him in the comments. Now, with that all being said, I do agree with what he said, though. Either you're going to support Kevin Hart or you're not. Well, guess what? I'm not. Okay, I haven't supported him in years. Absolutely have not. I never really even thought he was that funny. He used to be a little bit funnier back in the day before he got so sold out. But yeah, I never really supported him. Now, Reno used to like him when he was like a teenager because I took him to Kevin Hart's concert, Kevin Hart's show for his birthday. Okay, when he was like 16. But nonetheless, I never really cared for Kevin Hart. Okay, so anyway, moving right along, because we have bigger fish to fry. Like he said, we have a joke in the White House that's not even funny. Let's get into it. His name is Donald Trump. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. So first, let's talk about Pam Bondi. Now, you all know that she's supposed to testify tomorrow, the 29th. I'm hoping it's going to be public. I believe it is, so we can tune in. So they said an Epstein survivor is talking about Pam Bondi's deposition. She said, who is she protecting? Let's get into it.
General Pam Bondi will be in the hot seat tomorrow, set to face questions from the House Oversight Committee as part of their ongoing investigation into the Justice Department's handling of the release of the Epstein files. Bondi herself had faced serious criticism from outside and inside the Trump administration for her role overseeing the document release. It's seen as a key reason President Trump pushed her out of the job. Now, tomorrow's meeting is a culmination of a huge effort by Congress to get her there. She was initially subpoenaed, you'll remember, to appear in April. Then DOJ argued she no longer needed to appear after she was ousted from the AG job. Tomorrow's deposition, it will be transcribed. She will not, though, be under oath. Joining us right now is Marina Lacerda. She is an Epstein survivor who says she was just 14 years old when she met him. She was identified as minor victim 1 in the 2019 federal indictment against Epstein. Thank you so much for being here. Kind of wondering just how you're feeling after, a whole lot of lead up and effort and fits and starts to get Bondi to, sit before this committee in a real way and face this deposition. Kind of, how are you feeling about this?
Good morning, first of all, and thank you for having me. I think it's been such a long road at this point, and we are truly frustrated, and we are thankful that she is coming in. but we would like for her to come in under oath and testify. That would be, ideal here. So it's it weighs out. We're frustrated, but yes, we feel like, we're taking a step forward to maybe accountability here.
Yeah, I mean, she will not be under oath. It is still a crime to lie to Congress. So there is that, of course, right? But what would you hope to hear from her, especially after it has been such a long road, after the documents have still not all been released, and kind of the mess that we have seen of victims identified, and high-profile names being redacted that many viewed as not needing to be redacted now?
Yes, and we understand it is a crime to lie, but we can see that people are committing crimes and no one is, being held accountable for it. So it's kind of, we're very confused here, right? But, tomorrow we want to understand what happened inside the DOJ with the redactions. Why names and photos, information of victims revealed, while names of those who were exploited are redacted? It is very confusing for us. This is not a hard job. Why are there numerous investigation leads not being investigated? We have so many names. I mean, people have been asking for names. We have all these names in the files. Why aren't we taking a step forward? We need to, take a step forward into accountability and justice here. And I think that it's very important, not only for the survivors, but for the American people.
Yeah, a real concrete step forward. I think you guys have been asking for that for quite some time. I was thinking back to when Bondi testified publicly back in February. There was this moment when Congresswoman Jayapal had asked survivors in the audience to stand and raise a hand if they had not been able to meet with the Trump administration, and asked if Bondi would apologize. You were among them. And afterward, you had said that Bondi dehumanized you and other survivors. And I was thinking, she was Attorney General then. She's no longer in that role. Do you think that could perhaps get something different from her this time around?
To be honest with you, I don't think things will be honest. I think she is very much protecting somebody. And that is the next question that we also have. Who is she protecting? She is no longer, in the position that she was in. But we do feel that she will continue to protect whoever she's protecting, which we may know who it is. But I don't think things will be different. I think tomorrow might be even something very quick. I think she may not even sit through the whole thing, through the whole hearing. We are just really, really hoping that she will come on tomorrow and be, as honest and, as possible. Everyone has been waiting. And the lashing out that she did the last time will not work this time. Everyone was in the room shocked about how she was acting. So we need to understand here that the lashing out that she did the last time was completely, out of this world. We have to understand here that it is time for her to bring the truth to all the survivors and the American people.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Listen, Pam Bondi is definitely going to lie. Okay, that's all she's been doing. That's all the entire Trump administration has been doing, specifically as it pertains to the Epstein files. And I don't expect anything more. Okay, I don't expect anything more. I expect them to do her to do exactly what she's been doing. And it's just really sad. And like the young lady said, they have names. Okay, they may want us to think that they don't have names, but they absolutely do have names. And we should all know that because Thomas Massie said that he was going to release names. I don't think he's done it as of yet. But also, the thing of it is, she said there are plenty of allegations that have not been investigated. And that's all by design. Because Todd Blanche is sitting there saying there's no co-conspirators, there's no one else they could prosecute. How do you know that if you haven't even done a thorough investigation? How do you know that? How do you know that the claims are not substantiated if you haven't followed through? So it is what it is, but this country has an affinity. This country loves PDF files. Okay, that's because many of the men who don't look like me, Okay, not of my skin tone. Many of them, specifically on the Republicans' GOP side, are PDF files, in my opinion. And that's just what it is. Okay, I mean, look at the lax laws. They get probation. Okay, they get 2 and 3 years. They don't get stiff or lengthy sentences for something that's so egregious, something that they're not going to change. When someone's a PDF file, they're going to always be just that. Okay, that's what they're going to always be, in my opinion. It's not something that goes away. Okay, so anyway, let's go to this Supreme Court decision. So the Supreme Court sides with Black death row inmate in jury selection racial discrimination charge. So basically, this man was saying that the juries need to have more of a mixed, more of a there needs to be more of a mix amongst the jurors, because sometimes Black people are tried by and convicted by all white juries. And that's so ridiculous, because what you'll never hear is of a white person in this country being convicted by an all Black jury. You'll never see an all Black jury. Okay, I've never seen one. I don't think it's ever happened, nor will it ever. But they don't have a problem having all white juries for Black people.
The Supreme Court that we want to get to. So in the last half hour, we received several new decisions from the justices. Several of them dealt with prisoner rights. Here to break down things for us is CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman. So Katrina, explain some of the decisions that we got today.
Kelly, we got a few decisions that were related to criminal law, but the one that I want to highlight is a case called Pitchford. And essentially, it's about the right to have a race-neutral jury. This case was brought by a man who was on death row in Mississippi. It's related to a robbery that occurred where someone was killed, and he was ultimately convicted of capital murder and put on death row. But what the defense said during the trial, though, was that the prosecution got rid of 4 Black jurors, and they believed it was for racial reasons. And that's something that's not allowed, Kelly. It's under a case called Batson. It has to be race neutral when you strike jurors during jury selection, which is such an important process when it comes to a trial. So essentially what the Supreme Court has decided here is that the defense should have been given an opportunity to rebut those race neutral reasons. And basically that means that there is a possibility that there were racial reasons those jurors were taken off the jury. Ultimately, that final jury that convicted this man had 1 Black juror and 11 white jurors. So it's an important decision here related to jury selection.
So remind us, Katrina, what other rulings are we waiting on?
So Vlad, some of the big rulings that we're waiting on is whether or not President Trump can remove Lisa Cook from the Federal Reserve. That is going to be a very consequential decision. Also, whether Rebecca Slaughter can be removed from the board of the FTC. This has a lot of consequences for the independence of multi-member agencies, which are supposed to be bipartisan. So both of those are really about the executive branch's power over these boards, whether the president can actually remove their members. We're also waiting for a case related to whether transgender women and girls can play in women's sports. And then, of course, the big monumental decision that we are waiting for is the birthright citizenship case.
Yeah, those are going to be really, really interesting. But I'm personally watching the one with Lisa Cook, because that's going to most impact whether
100%.
He is able to remove Powell as he's staying on the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, because Donald Trump wants to, I think he wants to have a probe into Powell, the Fed chair. Okay, so now listen to this. This next story is so egregious. I just happened to come across this. Now, this woman murdered a 5-year-old child. It was her stepdaughter back in 1978. And she got away with it for almost 50 years. But now she has been caught and arrested. And you should have seen the look on her face when she was first approached by the police. I mean, it's like she wasn't denying it. She wasn't acting like, what are you talking about? She was more so like shocked that she was hearing this. Okay, so anyway, let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. I'm going to share my screen.
We met a couple of years ago. Yeah. Yes. I'll speak to you privately, but at the moment I need your passport and your phone, please. Thank you very much. I'm not going to do anything with them, it's just so you can't make any calls, that's all it is. Passport, thank you very much. No, it's just one passport.
Yeah, I've got my antique.
Can I have that as well then, please? Thank you very much. Cheers. That's great. If you just grab your stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Everything. I don't think you've got anything up above.
No.
You sure? I just want you to leave anything here. Just make sure you've got absolutely everything. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely certain you've got everything? Yes. Okay. Let's go.
You're under arrest, okay, for the manslaughter of Andrea Bernard on the 13th of July 1978. You're also under arrest for the assault and ill treatment of Desmond Bernard between the 1st of October 1975 and the 6th of June 1978. Okay, you do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention or in question something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. All right. Your arrest is necessary to prevent your disappearance and hinder any prosecution. All right.
Did you all see how she was looking? Okay, like the color almost left her face. Now let's talk about what she did. It's all so egregious. Let's talk about it, because how she got caught is her son turned her in because he was a little kid and he knew that she did all of this. So Andrea Bernard's 1978 death was ruled an accident, but her older brother Desmond told police decades later that he was told to lie about what really happened. A woman whose 5-year-old stepdaughter died in 1978 after being placed in a scalding hot bathtub has been found guilty of manslaughter almost 5 decades later. On Tuesday, May the 26th, a jury found Janice Nix, age 67, who lives in London, guilty of manslaughter in relation to the death of Andrea Bernard and of child cruelty. Hold on, these pop-ups. Okay, and of child cruelty, okay, toward the victim's older brother, Desmond, according to the Metropolitan Police. Now, Andrea died from sepsis in 1978. That's like a bacteria that gets in the blood. Okay. She died nearly 6 weeks after arriving at a hospital with severe burns to half of her body after she was scalded in a hot bath at the family's home in Thornton Heath, London, according to police. Now, at the time of her death, it was ruled accidental. However, Desmond, who was 8 years old at the time, he was 8 years old at the time of Andrea's death. He walked into a police station in September of 2022, over 44 years later. He told the officers that Nix had killed his younger sister. Desmond explained that Nix had told him to lie about what really happened and said that she would punish the children by beating them and forcing them to eat cat food if he didn't do it. So when the police began to investigate, they found that no hospital records had ever been retained, and they tried to trace other people who lived on the same street but struggled to find leads because of all the time it had passed. So dealing with homicide cases in the modern day is very, very difficult, according to David Malone, Deputy Chief Crown Prosecutor for the Crown Prosecution Service in London. Now he says we look at all the data and we have in our telephones, CCTV, the audio. There's that wealth of documentary evidence. And of course, when you go back such a long time, witnesses pass away. So police had noticed inconsistencies in Nix's story. Okay, they found a short coroner's report, and it included an account from the stepmother, which contained startling differences from the story that she told decades later. According to Detective Constable Fran Homer from the Metropolitan Police from the cold case team, some of the claims that Nix made, including that the bath water had overheated because of a broken boiler, and that Andrea had been able to have a conversation after sustaining her burns. She said that didn't make sense and was discredited by experts. So Nix was previously who previously wrote a memoir about her past as a rug dealer known as Mama J and had spoken about finding employment as a former offender, was arrested at the airport in February of 2025 when she returned to London from Antigua and Bermuda. Now, with that all being said, the same day she was charged with Andrea's manslaughter and with cruelty to Desmond between October 1975 and June of 1978. Now, she admitted giving a false account at the time of Andrea's death, but said she'd been in a panic because she was gardening rather than supervising the 5-year-old when she heard the screams and ran inside to remove her from the bath. However, Desmond told the court that on June the 6th of 1978, Nix told him that his sister was in trouble for not cleaning the house. That's why she killed a 5-year-old. What is a 5-year-old doing cleaning a house anyway? So he recalled hearing Andrea tell their stepmother the bath was too hot. And then he heard Nix shouting, "Get in the bath," and then splashing and screaming. Ooh, that is so low down and dirty. He said that Nix told him that if he said it was an accident, she would never beat him again, and said that he lied because he didn't feel protected and just wanted it to stop. Now, the police said that Nix wouldn't have been brought to justice if not for Desmond's courage in finally revealing the truth. Homer said per the BBC that it was heartbreaking to hear of the guilt he felt and thought that he wanted to be the voice of Andrea that she never had. Nix remains in custody and will be sentenced at a later date, according to police. Just low down and dirty. I mean, she went on with her life as usual, knowing that she murdered this poor child. Here's a picture of the poor little girl right here. This is absolutely heartbreaking. And here's another thing, too. How you know that she was lying, is because if a bathtub is that hot, the little child would try to get out. She's saying that the water got hot while the child was in there because of the hot water tank malfunctioning. But clearly someone held her down in that water, and she must have had on gloves herself so she wouldn't get burned, is what I'm thinking. But that's the little girl right there. So sad. She's getting just what she deserved, and I bet she thought she was never going to get caught. Did you see the look of shock on her face? Her mouth all open. She didn't even know what to say. But now let's talk about this Black teenager that's been found hung. I want you all to pay attention because, like I said, this is Trump's America. This is what's going on. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. This is a teenager, a female at that. Okay? A female. That's her on the screen right there. Right there. And they don't even have much information on this, which I hate when they do this. Her name is Juliana Zeta. She's clearly an African. A 16-year-old African-American girl from Charlotte, North Carolina. She's not no African-American because that's a name from the Congo, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, let me just double check real quick. Hold on, beloveds. Yes, she was originally from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Okay, I knew that was an African name. Nzita. It's spelled Nzita. Okay, so anyway, she had been missing for quite some time before her body was found. So they go on to say that Juliana Nzita, 16 years old, was from Charlotte, North Carolina, was found dead on church property after being reported missing in late April. Local police had already classified it, or they have already classified it as self-deletion. Okay? Self-deletion. I want you all to pay attention. Now, authorities said that she was reported missing on April the 28th of 2026, and this is according to the North Carolina Beat. Her family searched for her while community posts and tips spread across on social media. She had been living in North Carolina after originally moving from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, on May the 8th of 2026, community volunteer Kenneth Talbert, known as Mufasa, said he came across what appeared to be the body of a teenage girl hanging from a tree near West Sugar Creek Road on property linked to the United House of Prayer for All People. Now, Tauber said that he quickly alerted nearby church members and then contacted the police. He later left the scene due to a prior commitment. He also provided video footage showing a small blue chair under a tree with a rope above, with the girl's feet still close to the ground. Now, a church member reported that they reportedly said that the area had been checked the day before and they saw nothing unusual. So, Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department records confirmed that Nazita was pronounced deceased at 12:40 p.m. on May the 8th of 2026 in the 4200 block of West Sugar Creek Road. The report documented the location and the initial findings. Now, police classified it as death by self-deletion in their official notes. Investigators say they also say they did not receive a response from her family when contacted, and the church did not release any public statements. That's all they have. Very little information. That's really sad. Condolences to her family. Robert said kidnapped. Okay, Mr. Elevation says self-deleting is what they always go to first. Yes, they absolutely do. Before they even conduct any sort of investigation, that's the first thing that they say. And like I told you all, the reason they do that is because of Michael Donald's mother, okay, Eula Donald, who sued them back in 1981, sued the Klan for lynching her son, and she bankrupted the Alabama Klan. And then someone told me in the chat yesterday, I can't remember, or the other day when I was talking about this, I can't remember which one of you said it, but someone said they knew this story from watching a documentary called The Last Lynching or something like that. Now, why would they call it The Last Lynching? How would they know that was the last lynching? Likely because that was the last time they would ever admit that that's what it was. Okay, and I've been telling you all for years that that's the reason they don't call them lynches. They always say the person did it to themselves. Also nefarious. Okay, so now there's also a missing teenager here in Georgia. And I believe he came up missing after his graduation. Let's go to the news report. Likes up, everyone, please. Don't forget to like and share. Thank you.
Missing 18-year-old in Atlanta. Good evening. I'm Christine Spiro.
Hello and welcome. I'm Tom Haynes. Jaden Wilson was last seen about a week ago near a home on Boulder Park Drive Southwest. Let's get out to Fox 5's Tara Jabor, who joins us now live from Atlanta Police Headquarters. Tara, you spoke with his mother this afternoon.
Tom, that's right. Jaden's mother says that they are worried sick. She says that he's never run away before and he just graduated high school a couple weekends ago. Take a look at this photo of missing 18-year-old Jaden Wilson. He's about 6'3" and weighs 160 pounds.
It's very atypical. Like, Jaden is not someone to run away, disappear, and not let anybody know what's going on.
His family wants him home and are praying for his safety. According to Atlanta police, Jaden was last seen wearing gray sweatpants and black Nike Air Maxes near a home on Boulder Park Drive Southwest.
Jaden is such a good kid. I mean, he has always been very sweet, very helpful, very thoughtful.
His mother, Amber Coleman, lives in Indianapolis. She says ever since her son went missing, she's been a nervous wreck.
I am terrified because Atlanta is, it's a big city, number one. And number two, there is, a large, influx of kidnapping, sex trafficking, missing persons.
Coleman says she has received messages online that her son was seen at a MARTA station in Lenox Mall, but still he's missing.
We don't know where he is. We don't know where he's living, if he's living anywhere safe.
Coleman says if she could talk to her son, she wants him to know this.
His mother loves him. His family loves him. We don't want him suffering. We don't want him struggling. We don't want him unhoused. We will help however we can help.
Now, if you have seen Jaden or have any information on where he could be, contact the Atlanta Police Department. Reporting live in downtown Atlanta, Tara Jabor, Fox 5 News.
I hope he's safe. I wonder why he would have, if on his own, would have just left. I just have questions. Okay, I just have questions. It seems like she thinks that maybe he just left. I don't know. But let me tell you something. When they talk about trafficking, they absolutely also kidnap young men for trafficking as well. Okay, they absolutely do. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about brother Bilal, who's getting sued by Will Smith's ex-wife, okay, Cherie Zampino. Now, he just lost his case, lost some significant parts in the case against Jada Pinkett. Okay, Jada Pinkett Smith secures over $30,000 in legal fees from Will Smith's ex-friend in court battle. A Los Angeles judge ordered Bilal Salam to pay Pinkett Smith $32,836 in legal fees. So on Monday, May the 18th, a Los Angeles judge ordered Salam, 56 years old, to pay the actress over $30,000 in attorney's fees and other legal fees, according to documents obtained by People. Now, the ruling comes 3 weeks after Jada Pinkett Smith, who's 54, filed a motion requesting Salam pay over $49,000, okay, for her reasonable attorney's fees that incurred. So the court lowered the amount because some of Pinkett's attorneys, they billed at high hourly rates and spent excessive time analyzing complaints and drafting motions despite their significant expertise as lawyers. So the judge knew what they were doing. Okay, just running up the tab. That's all they're doing. And I believe that's what Tasha K's attorneys are doing. Okay, I absolutely believe that's what Tasha K's attorneys are doing. I told you all that days ago. Now, Salam requested a reduction in the fee award due to his inability to pay, but the request was denied because it was raised for the first time at the hearing rather than in opposition papers. Okay, so he should have had his lawyers oppose it before he even got to court. So the court did, however, consider Salam's argument that Pinkett Smith had partially prevailed on her anti-SLAPP SLAPP motion and therefore found that a 15% reduction is appropriate due to the defendant's partial success. So in February, Jada Pinkett Smith had originally asked the court to strike Salam's complaint entirely, alleging that the lawsuit conflicts with California's anti-SLAPP statute. Now, the state's anti-SLAPP statute, which stands for Strategic Lawsuit Against Public Participation Act, that provides a procedure for weeding out at an early stage meritless claims arising from protected activity. So the protected activity included a cease and desist letter that Salam received from both of the Smiths, okay, which Pinkett's motion alleged Salam publicly disclosed. Now, that letter was not a public statement at all. It was classic pre-litigation activity, confidential legal correspondence sent by counsel in anticipation of litigation, and is independently protected under California law. Now, according to an April the 20th filing previously obtained, Pinkett Smith prevailed on her anti-SLAPP motion and struck all allegations relating to the public media statements that formed the basis for plaintiff's 3 causes of action, as well as additional allegations regarding a cease and desist letter. Now, for those of you who don't know who Brother Bilal is and why he's into this mess with Jada Pinkett Smith, this is because he went on Tasha K Live. He's been on Tasha K Live like maybe 3 times, at least 2 that I know of for a fact. But he's going on there and he's alleged that Will Smith was having an sexual relationship with Dwayne Martin. Says, he used to be best friends with Will for like 40 years, according to him. Like they basically grew up together and Will, had him working for him or whatever. And so basically he said that they were on the set of that movie, of the show All of Us that Will used to produce, and said that he walked in on Will and Dwayne Martin getting busy. Okay? For those of you who don't know. It said that Nessa said he should have stayed off Tasha K's show. Okay, but basically, Bilal's selling the book on Jada. Right, that's another thing. And he said that if he's lying, he said for them to sue him, which Jada said that she would. But so that's how all of this mess got started. He started talking about them, and then he started making allegations against Jada and just talking about things that she was doing. He also said that Cherie Zampino was a 304. Okay, Will's ex-wife. So that's why she's suing. Okay, but so anyway, goes on to say Salam, also known as Brother Bilal, initially filed a $3 million complaint in December of 2025, alleging that the actress confronted him in the lobby of the Regency Calabasas Commons in September of 2021 and threatened him. Now, Salam's complaint also alleged that Pinkett Smith told him he would end up missing or catch a bullet. Okay, sounds like Jada Pinkett from Set It Off, I mean, if you ask me. Okay, said he would catch a bullet if he continued telling her personal business. Now, and mind you, he's also alleged that he has had to, be careful and get security because he said he's seen black vehicles sitting out in front of his residence. Even after he moved, I believe that he said he was still having people follow him and things like that. So, Pinkett Smith subsequently called his claims nonsense in a 2023 interview with The Breakfast Club. She also told TMZ that she and her husband intended to pursue legal action in response to his claims. Now, the next hearing for the case will take place on August the 9th as the court denied Solomon's request for trial. Okay, so that was the mess with him and Jada. So now let's talk about his current lawsuit that he's been hit with. And this is Cherie Zampino. So Will Smith's ex-wife, Cherie Zampino, sues his former friend, Bilal Salam, for $1 million over hurtful statements. Okay, she's a television personality and the ex-wife of Will Smith. She's suing Bilal Salam, a former friend and associate of the Oscar-winning actor, also known as Brother Bilal, for more than $1 million after alleging that he made outrageously offensive, shocking, and hurtful statements. Okay, so according to a complaint filed May the 27th in Los Angeles County Superior Court and obtained by People, Zampino, who's 58, accused Salam of slander and intentional infliction of emotional distress over comments that he made during an appearance on the YouTube series Unwind with Tasha K. Honey, if Tasha's not getting sued, somebody that's been on there is getting sued. Now, in the lawsuit, Zampino, who was married to Smith, age 57, from 1992 to 1995, alleges that Salam falsely portrayed her as promiscuous and sexually indiscriminate, okay, in remarks that were later shared across YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And also on Tasha K Live, in case you missed it. Now, the complaint references a promotional clip released May the 4th that allegedly included text reading exclusive. Bilal claims Will Smith's ex-wife, Cherie Zampino, was sleeping with everyone in Hollywood. That's what Tasha had on the post. Sleeping with everyone in Hollywood. Now, I never heard of this lady being a 304. That doesn't mean that she wasn't. I just said I never heard that about her. What I did hear years ago, and this is all alleged, that she walked in and caught Will Smith and Benny Medina, who was Will Smith's manager at the time, getting busy, and that's why they got a divorce. Now, I don't know if any of that's true, but I did hear that before because I actually reported on it in 2020. Now, Zampino's filing also alleges Salam reportedly referred to her as a whore, okay? And I'm talking about the one that rhymes with score, okay, during the interview, and claimed that she was screwing everybody in Hollywood. Plaintiff Cherie Zampino has been caught in the crossfire of the defendant Bilal Salam's ongoing vendetta against her former husband, actor Will Smith, okay, according to the complaint. Now, until recently, Salam focused his attacks on Mr. Smith and his current spouse, but Salam has now turned his attention to Ms. Zampino. So, according to the complaint, the statements were entirely false and constituted slander per se under California law. My question is, if he thinks this is true, how is he going to prove it? Okay, she's definitely probably going to win this because unless he gets a bunch of guys to come in there and say they slept with her or whatever, I don't know how he's going to, debunk what she's saying because she's denying all of it. So the filing further alleges that Salam either knew the statements were false or acted with reckless disregard as to their truth. And my question is, why would he drag this woman into it anyway? This woman has done nothing to him. She probably doesn't even know him like that. And even if she does, my thing is, why is he bringing her into it if he's mad at Will and Jada for actions they did to him, according to him? He never said this lady did anything to him. This kind of sounds like a clout chase to me. Okay, that's what it seems like. Now, as a result of the alleged comments, Zampino said she suffered humiliation, embarrassment, emotional distress, mental anguish, and damage to her reputation. I'm sure she did. And wasn't she married to a pastor at one time? I believe she was. Now, I'll check in a second. But in addition to punitive damages, the complaint seeks compensatory damages in excess of $1 million. Now, Salam has publicly discussed Smith and his family in multiple online interviews over the years. In 2023, Salam alleged during another appearance on Unwind with Tasha K that he witnessed Smith engaged in an sexual act with actor Dwayne Martin. I told you. He sure did, honey. He was very descriptive. Okay, he was very descriptive when he said that, told that story, honey. I'm inclined to believe that one. Now, the lawsuit marks the latest legal dispute involving Salam and the Smith family. Because here's the thing. Do you all remember that when Tisha Campbell and Dwayne Martin got that divorce, that they were saying, and this is all alleged, but they were saying that Tisha supposedly found out that their house was in Will Smith's name or something like that, or that he had some kind of something to do with her house. Okay, which I thought was a bit interesting. So anyway, goes on to say, in December 2025, Salam sued Pinkett for $3 million, alleging she threatened him after he publicly discussed their marriage. Pinkett Smith later filed an anti-SLAPP motion seeking dismissal of portions of Salam's lawsuit and recently secured a court order requiring him to pay for her legal fees. But here's the question, though. This stuff that he was saying about Jada and Will, now the fact that he sued Jada, I wonder why Jada didn't just counter-sue him. Why didn't Jada counter-sue him for one, or sue him for defamation, libel, and slander for two? Instead, she filed an anti-SLAPP motion trying to get it all dismissed. Don't y'all find that interesting? Because that further makes me believe what he said about her and Will could possibly be true. Because why wouldn't you sue him for defamation if he's lying? Especially with him saying such inflammatory things. And if you didn't threaten him, I would have countersued him. So that leads me to think that she absolutely did threaten him about what he was saying. And I'll never forget, when she was on that Breakfast Club interview, she was sitting up there like she was a female version of John Gotti, as far as I'm concerned. And she was giving Set It Off. Y'all remember the scene from Set It Off when they were sitting at that long conference table when they were plotting their next take? And she was supposed to be Marlon Brando from The Godfather, and she put the things in her cheeks. Y'all remember that? That's what she was giving on Breakfast Club on that interview back in 2023. It doesn't even seem like it's been that long ago. Time flies. And so anyway, what do y'all think? He went in on Jada. He went in on Jada and Will. Yes, he did. Sheila said, I remember watching Hollywood Exes and Cherie was on the show. Yes, she absolutely was. Yep, she absolutely was, beloved. So anyway, with that all being said, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I'm sure going to be staying tuned because it's very interesting. I'm about to conclude this broadcast, but hold on. There's a lifeline that I want to give you all. Oh, no. Before I do that, we got to talk about this judge. Honey, they say the judges were getting freaky deaky in the courthouse. And people heard moans and all of that through the doors or something. Y'all can't wait till y'all get home? What the hell's wrong with people? What is wrong with people? Let's get into it. They also say that Gail King, Oprah's bestie, said that her ex came out. I didn't even know she was ever married. I thought Oprah was her husband, clearly. But they said that her ex-husband has come out and spoken because she brought up their past relationship and how she caught him cheating. Hold on. It says, until Israel is wiped out, no peace. Okay, this is what they're saying Iran is talking about. Aims to stay in Trump's good graces. Okay, I might have to go to that. Okay, let's get into this story about this judge. It's all crazy.
And a high-ranking Atlanta police official are at the center of explosive allegations.
It involves sexual encounters inside the judge's chambers during work hours.
Tonight, Channel 2 investigative reporter Ashley Lincoln breaks down the judicial order. And Ashley, federal judges discovered this activity went on for years.
Yeah, according to this 20-page order from the chief judge over the 11th district. Now, the report does not name the judge, but for the last 2 days, I've been speaking with sources and going through public records to identify the accused after federal employees complained about hearing intimate noises through the walls.
These are serious allegations.
They're allegations of sexual encounters during work hours that a federal judge admitted to, according to this newly released judicial order. The report details an investigation launched after a complaint was filed against a federal judge last September.
I don't think judges are perfect. They're human beings, too.
Former federal prosecutor Doug Gilfillan says federal laws allow judges' identities to remain undisclosed in reports like these to protect the integrity of investigations.
However, the law requires an order like this one to be made public if there's an imposition of discipline.
The report claims the judge had sex on at least 5 occasions over a 2-year period inside her chambers with a high-ranking police officer. Employees interviewed during the investigation described multiple incidents where they allegedly heard people having sex through the walls. One court clerk testified to hearing what was described as unsettling noises, kissing, and music coming from the judge's chambers.
Why should the everyday person care about these allegations?
The American legal system depends on honesty and truthfulness.
This investigative report did not identify the judge or the officer, but multiple sources confirmed to Channel 2 that federal judge Eleanor Ross and Atlanta Police Deputy Chief Kelly Collier were the 2 accused. In the complaint, the judge's employees said she attended a primary election victory party for a district attorney on May 21st, 2024. A source provided Channel 2 this photo showing Ross at that party. The order also says the judge presided over a hearing the following day. Channel 2 obtained federal court records showing Ross presided over a supervised release hearing on May 22nd, 2024. And regarding the officer, the chief judge wrote the officer has worked for the PD since 1998, later adding that the officer has held this role since 2025. Atlanta police records show Collier joined the department in 1998, and his LinkedIn profile reflected a promotion in 2025. That LinkedIn page has since been taken down. I reached out to Ross, but a representative responded with no comment. The chief judge has already issued Ross a private reprimand, and she agreed to write apology letters to her employees. She was also reprimanded for attending a political event, as federal judges are prohibited from participating in political activities. The chief judge said harsher discipline was not imposed because of the judge's exemplary service to the court, along with the fact the judge ended the relationship and accepted responsibility.
In some ways, this is a self-inflicted wound, and it just shows further distrust in the system by the public, and that's just not something that we need right now.
And Atlanta police provided a statement this afternoon saying it launched an investigation to determine if the person mentioned in the federal report is an Atlanta police officer. Now, we've attempted to reach out to Collier and have not heard back. Reporting live in the news.
It's a darn shame. These judges are something else. Do you all remember a couple of years ago when I reported on that Judge Karen who was on one of those I want to say OnlyFans? She was on some website and they had pictures of her in lingerie. This is a whole judge. Okay, this is all crap. What are these judges doing? Like, that is so ridiculous to me. You're a judge and this is what you're doing in your spare time? Anyway, let's go to this report because they say a 3-hour overnight strike or overnight attack. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. That's the wrong thing. Hold on. I'm trying to go to where. Oh my God. They have the worst picture of Donald Trump on here. Hold on. I just saw it. Let me pull this up because they said Iran threatens is not real. Let me see here. Oh, now I can't find it. I literally just saw it. Hold on. I'll tell you what, though, they did say, and I don't know if this is true or not, I haven't confirmed it, but they're saying that It's Not Real is losing in Lebanon and that there's a bunch of IDF soldiers dead and in body bags. Okay, that's what the Hindustan Times reported. Or I'm sorry, the Times of India. I believe that's what they reported. Okay, so anyway, I can't find it. Okay, forget it. We'll have to talk about it in the morning. Meantime, let's go to the lifelines. Let's go to your lifeline for anybody that eats salmon. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Yes, Cyrus, it was the Times of India, beloved.
Never buy salmon with white stripes in the flesh. See those thick white lines running through the fish? That is called myoglobin deposits. It happens when the fish is farmed in tight pens where it barely moves. The muscle fills up with fat instead of protein because the fish never had to swim. That is why the texture feels mushy and the flavor is weak. Now look at this one. Clean flesh, deep red color, almost no white lines. That means the fish was active, the muscle is dense, and that is where all the omega-3s and protein actually are. Most people grab whatever salmon looks the brightest and biggest and never check the lines. Now you know, I have tricks like this for every food you buy. Comment yes if you want.
Okay, y'all heard that? That sounds absolutely disgusting. Okay, please pay attention. Now, somebody said we to talk about Gail. Okay, we can do that. Here's a video about the war I was looking for. I'm going to go to this and then I'm going to pull up Gail. Okay, it says live. Iran begins airstrikes on Is Not Real. I'm sorry, that's an old report. It showed it like it was live. Okay, anyway, let me just go to Gail King. I don't have time to keep searching for this stuff. Gail King's ex. I want to see who her ex is because I never knew that lady was married. Did you all know she had ever been married? Okay, here it is. Gail King's ex-husband reacts to her sharing the moment she caught him cheating. Let's get into it. I'm going to use an overlay. This is entertainment. No, that's not the one I'm going to. Here it is, right here in Access Hollywood. Here we go.
And there they are, or there she is, cowering behind the door. In my towel, Alex, was a nice bath sheet.
Gail King's ex-husband, William Bumpus, is speaking out after the CBS Mornings anchor recalled the moment she caught him cheating on her nearly 40 years ago. During the May 27th episode of Call Her Daddy, Gail told host Alex Cooper that she walked in on her then-husband with one of her best friends in 1990. She first admitted to Alex that she was oblivious to the affair.
I was happy. And you know how they say the wife always knows? I swear to God, I did not. I did not. And people say, well, of course you know. No, I really didn't. Now, it's not like we hadn't had arguments or anything, but I didn't think that it was in such disrepair that he was boinking around. I did not think that.
Though Gail was unaware, she did note that there was something about the way her friend complimented how her husband hit the ball during a game of tennis that made her have a visceral reaction. But when she brought it up, her ex made it seem that she was overreacting. The journalist went on to provide details about how she caught the duo, explaining that she was coming back unannounced from the airport after her flight was canceled and didn't have time to call her then husband. She revealed that once she got home, the alarm was on, which was unusual, and then detailed what she encountered.
The alarm was set, which I thought, that's strange, because you're in here by yourself. You're a big ass, grown ass man. He never sets the alarm. And next thing I know, he comes flying out of the room and he's got a towel on. He goes, you can't come in. What do you mean you can't? I can't come in. What are you talking about? He goes, you can't come here. Come in. Someone's here. I go, someone like who? There's nobody here. I mean, I was so oblivious. There's nobody here. Get out of the way, Billy. There's nobody here. He goes, really, you can't come in. And so I start searching the house because I didn't believe him. I get down and there they are, or there she is, cowering behind the door. In my towel, Alex, was a nice bath sheet. In my towel.
What did you say?
I said, I can't believe that you are here and that you are doing this. I can't believe that you are doing this.
She was your friend.
Yes. And I even said, I thought we were friends. It sounded so pitiful. I thought we were friends.
King then shared that she had the nanny take their kids, who were toddlers at the time, to another room and shut the door. The CBS anchor went on to reveal that the ordeal even caused police to get involved because the alarm wasn't turned off in time.
The police came and they said, hey, oh my God, it's Gayle King. I was a local news anchor, so I was well known in the local community. Hey, it's Gayle King. Are you okay? I go, yeah. You know, I was coming in. I didn't set off the alarm in time. I'm so sorry. And they said, could I get your autograph? And I'm just thinking, yeah, sure. I wanted to say, could you take out the trash? But I didn't. And I didn't want them to know because it's a type of thing that they screw up, but you're thinking, I don't want anybody to know when I haven't done anything wrong. I just wanted to get them in and out as quickly as possible.
Gayle also shared how William pleaded for her to not call the mistress's husband and even ended up taking her out of the house, leaving Gayle alone. However, after speaking with BFF Oprah, who was the only person she confided in at the time, Gayle called the woman's husband, though the woman had already got into his ear.
Oprah goes, wait, let me get this straight. He left you there alone and went with her?
Gayle,
I know your mouth is open. And she said, oh, girl, you don't even know how bad this is. And then she said, well, him, call her husband. I go, you think I should call? Yes, call. Now, by now, it's been 2 hours. So I call him and you know what he said? He said, she told me you would be calling. She said that you came home early, unexpected, and you drew the wrong conclusion. And she told me you would call and say that you thought they were having an affair. Masterful. Isn't that masterful?
Masterful.
So I'm expecting this call. So he said to me, and they were both doctors, psychologists, as another layer. He said to me, you are delusional and out of touch with reality, and I suggest you get some help. Well, then I said, okay, you think I should get some help? Does your wife have a pink satin pajama top? Does she have some green mint panties that go with that? And oh, by the way, give me a guy's name.
Richard.
By the way, Richard, there are semen stains in my bed. So am I delusional and out of touch with reality? And then I said, go f yourself. And I hung up the telephone.
Hours after the episode's release, Gayle's ex shared a statement to TMZ in which she apologized for his past actions. My deepest apologies to Gayle, to our daughter Kirby and her husband Virgil, to our son William and his wife Elise, and to our 3 grandchildren for the pain I caused decades ago. Those actions were mine. I have long owned them, including publicly in my own words in 2016, which still stand. He said in part, adding, Gayle has every right to share it was a painful chapter that changed the trajectory of our marriage and our family nearly 40 years ago. I respect her right to tell her story, and that's where I'll leave it. William went on to highlight his gratitude for Gayle and their 2 kids and noted how supportive she was to him, including that she encouraged him to get his Yale law degree. He also shared that the 2 are in a good place before noting, as a private person by nature, I will admit that during our marriage, I did not fully appreciate Gayle's public life. I wanted ours to be more private, and that was something I wrestled with, and no reflection on her true talent and abilities. I am proud to have had a front row seat to Gayle's remarkable success, and I remain a genuine admirer and fan. He concluded by saying his focus remains on his family, clients, and work ahead as he works on being the best version of himself that he can be. William had also previously publicly apologized in 2016 after Gayle referenced his affair in an interview with Vanity Fair and revealed the date of the incident to be June 24, 1990. Though the incident happened in 1990, the pair tried to work on their marriage, with Gayle admitting that he was again unfaithful. The pair ultimately divorced in 1993.
Well, I know one thing, those kids look just like him. I mean, they're adults now. I shouldn't call them kids, but they look just like him. I mean, even the son's teeth, they have the exact same teeth from the looks of it. Did you all notice? And so anyway, Mally C, thank you for being a member for 14 months, beloved. I appreciate you. Says, Queen, I saw the video you're talking about. Oh, the one about is not real. Yes. You started to send it to me. Yep. Well, thanks, beloved. Okay, so now one more thing. I forgot to tell you all that Biden is suing to block the release of a biographer's interview. Okay, let's get into it. And people are like, Biden, what are you hiding? And here's another thing too. As it pertains to Gail's story, when she says that the husband told her he was expecting her call and said she's delusional, it sounds to me like he was the one that was delusional. He was clearly in denial and didn't want to believe it. And of course, nobody wants to believe things like that about their spouse. But I'm sure that by the time she told him what she was wearing, panties included, he had to have known that was likely true. Okay, because what are you doing there in your underwear, ma'am?
President Biden is suing the Justice Department to block the release of audio and transcripts from his private interviews with a ghostwriter. The interviews used for his 2017 memoir recounted his final year as vice president and the death of his son, Beau. The recordings were obtained by the DOJ as part of an investigation by special counsel Robert Hur into Biden's handling of classified documents after leaving the vice president's office. After a year-long probe, Hur found Biden willfully retained and disclosed documents, but found no criminal charges were warranted. President Trump was asked Wednesday if he thinks acting Attorney General Todd Blanche should push for the recordings to be released.
I don't know. Maybe there's some constitutional reason. I don't know. I would like to see what he has to say, because we can never allow what happened to this country to happen. The man was grossly incompetent.
CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson joins us now.
I'm going to go back in a second to that. But Trump, he sounds so ridiculous, and it makes me so sick to my stomach, literally. Every time I hear him talking about anyone being incompetent or talking about how this country is, and he has to continuously bring up President Obama's name, because he was just talking about something that had nothing at all to do with President Obama, but yet he found a way to slide Obama's name in there. Like, just sickening at this point.
Also, good to see you. Is there a constitutional reason to block the release of these recordings?
Well, what the former president is arguing is that this is a huge violation of his privacy rights. And obviously that's not specifically enumerated in the Constitution, but he's really making more of a statutory argument here. He's saying that these particular recordings are not covered by the Freedom of Information Act. And what he's focusing on is what you just mentioned, actually, that these are recordings that were made between him and his ghostwriter at his home, that they were extremely private. There was never the thought that they would be publicly released, and that the Department of Justice only obtained these recordings as part of a criminal investigation. And so what former President Biden is arguing is that for those two reasons, there's no purpose under the Freedom of Information Act to publicly disclose any of this information. He's also making policy arguments that this is an unwarranted intrusion into his privacy rights. And he's saying that Congress really doesn't have a good reason. They just have a pretextual reason for wanting this information.
What are the ways in which this could play out?
So at this point, we're looking to see what a judge does when it comes to this suit. Obviously, President Biden is saying, wait, pause, don't release this information. I think that a judge could say, you know what, there's some sense to that. I'm going to wait while I hear from both sides, while I have a full briefing on the Freedom of Information Act, on the privacy concerns, on why this information was obtained, and on whether there's a public interest in releasing this information now. So I have a sense that we might not have a full answer by June 15th, which I think is the date that otherwise this information would be released.
Jessica Levinson, thank you.
Okay, I wonder what Biden said in that. I mean, but here's the thing. To Biden's point, if it was something that he gave some audio that was recorded for a memoir, a book, or whatever, to a publisher or the ghostwriter, that doesn't have anything to do with any type of criminal actions. That's what he's saying. Like, that's his private information. So I see why he wants to block it. But of course, Trump wants to put it out there because Trump goes after all of his enemies. Okay. Mr. Miskell said that book will be a total bore. Yeah, I'm sure it will. Okay. I am sure it will. All right. So Reggie says, off topic, Y'all know Rob Bass transitioned this week. Yes, beloved, I reported on that earlier this week. The day that it was reported, I reported on it. Yep, sad to say. May he rest in peace. Okay, so with that all been said, listen, I'm going to conclude the broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe. All right, I'll see you all in the morning for your morning wake-up call. Until then, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got